Good morning, Nova Nation. Join us for our last show. Wait, for the summer of this is not the right morning. Join us for our last show for the summer of 2023. Fall is tomorrow, and so is pumpkin spice season, which is apparently very healthy. This broadcast will be featured in the annual World College Radio Day Marathon. We will also take a personal dive on college radio as part of the theme for the marathon this year. All voices are welcome. With summer coming to a close, we want to know what you are looking forward to for fall through our Twitter poll. And our special guests today, Aldo Camacho and Simon Brooks, will join us at 8:30 to discuss the newest Office of Sustainability at Villanova. In sports, Villanova football looks to rebound tomorrow for the annual family weekend matchup as they start CAA conference play against Rhode Island. And we'll preview the matchup. The Morning Roar is also being broadcast live on WXVU's YouTube channel. Good morning, everybody. My name is Chris Kokinos.
I'm Mike Obershaven.
I'm Becky Griswack.
And I'm Talene Postian. And for our first Morning Roar news update, our first story is the Pennsylvania jail from where murderer Daniello Cavalcante recently escaped will spend as much as $3.5 million to enclose outdoor exercise yards in hopes of preventing future breakouts, officials say Wednesday. The Chester County Jail Board unanimously approved a series of security upgrades, which include plans to cover 8 outdoor exercise yards. Other improvements proposed are the installation of 75 more surveillance cameras around the Westchester facility and the hiring of 8 more staff members to monitor those eyes in the sky. Howard Holland, acting Chester County prison warden, also said that he plans to change what inmates must wear, considering that Cavalcante was wearing a nondescript white shirt, dark pants, and white sneakers when he escaped. The Havertown Police Department's newest canine officer is getting some support from a Philadelphia sports legend. Police in Haverford announced Wednesday that the Eagles center and Captain Jason Kelsey and his family have teamed up with Steve Vidion to sponsor the newest canine officer, Winnie. Winnie is a 2-year-old black Labrador retriever who came from Pacific Coast Canine this year, according to the police. As a single-purpose narcotics detection dog who just graduated from the Iron Rose Canine Academy, Winnie's already out on the street with her handler, Officer Anthony Patterson. Patterson and Winnie got to meet the Kelsey family through the sponsorship.
Awesome. Thank you, Talene. And quick comment on the prison spending $3.5 million. Isn't it just a little section of the roof? Why is that $3.5 million?
It's $3.5 million.
I've covered 8 exercise yards, which I'm just confused as to why that wasn't covered originally.
That's my thing.
Yeah.
The fact that the prison has holes in it is crazy. They had to have made it like that, right?
I mean, there was an escape before this in the
Yeah.
exact same way. So
Exactly.
they just did not learn from their mistake the first time. And that's costing them $3.5 million.
Well,
What's
maybe they were
causing
working
us?
on getting it.
True.
Yeah.
True. But moving on to our first discussion topic of the morning. Everything nice about pumpkin spice. With fall officially arriving tomorrow for some, it's the most wonderful time of the year. Pumpkin spice season. And if you're one of those people who want pumpkin spice in everything from your Oreos to your pumpkin spice, here's some good news. The spices that are mixed together to create pumpkin spice each have their own health benefits. That's right, pumpkin spice is actually pretty good for you. The flavor is generally made up of cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, cloves, and allspice. Cinnamon is thought to help control blood sugar levels. Nutmeg has been used to treat many afflictions, including cancer and kidney disease, but more research is needed. Ginger seems to be an effective treatment for nausea and morning sickness, while cloves are used to treat toothaches, and allspice is good for things like intestinal gas, diarrhea, flu, and colds. And let's not forget pumpkin. While it isn't actually ingredient in all pumpkin spice products, did not know that. If it is used, you're in luck. Pumpkin is high in vitamin A, which is good for your eyes, skin, and fighting infections. So how do you all stand with pumpkin spice this season? Are you ready for the fall? Mike, we'll start with you.
Definitely ready for the fall. Not sure how I feel about it being called pumpkin spice season.
No.
But yeah, fall kind of my favorite season. You know, not too cold, not too hot.
Yeah,
And all the leaves turn pretty colors. So
that's all you need.
Yeah.
Becky, how about
simple
you?
pleasures.
I love fall. Fall is the best season ever, times a million. I love it, but I don't like pumpkin spice at all. I don't like pumpkins. I don't know. I feel like everything gets flavored pumpkiny and it all tastes gross and artificial. And even if I did like pumpkins, I don't think I would like it because it doesn't even taste like pumpkins. It just tastes like bad. But I do like fall.
And as we just saw, there's actually not
Not even
pumpkin in it,
exactly.
which
No.
that's wild to me. I would have no idea.
I also feel like the health benefits thing, it's all just like if you already have this sickness, it's good for you. It's not like it's actually healthy. You know what I mean? It's all just like, oh, if you have this,
It's not
it can help.
preventative.
Exactly.
No,
Mhm.
yep, I'm noticing that now. Yeah.
I
Colleen,
think
how about
that
you?
pumpkin spice, the name has kind of been warped from something that is the spices of pumpkin, where it's like if you're gonna make a pumpkin dish, you use these spices, to what we all call it, which is pumpkin spices, if like the spice is flavored like pumpkin. I think that's a big
Oh.
misconception that I'm glad we're clearing up
Oh.
today.
Oh, I did not know
That's
that.
probably
Me
why
neither.
pumpkin is not a flavor. I think all these things are used if you cook something with pumpkin.
That's crazy.
That makes so much sense, actually.
Yeah,
Wow.
And it kind of makes sense why they taste bad when they're not with pumpkin.
exactly. So it's like,
Yeah.
why would you put the things that are attuned for pumpkin or like squash products into a coffee? That's why it tastes bad.
No, never get that. Like
Yeah.
Starbucks around Christmas time when they got like a sugar cookie kind of coffee, like that's good because it's
Yeah.
just extra sugar in my coffee.
Mhm.
When Starbucks has that snowman cookie out.
The snowman cookie goes crazy, but fall at Starbucks, not really a move. Not behind the pumpkin spice season. Yeah. I mean, I know Mike, you don't take anything in your coffee. So
No,
no.
I want to hate myself if I'm drinking. coffee.
Exactly. Talene, how do you drink coffee?
I drink mocha, which is essentially chocolate milk for adults, and I'm
amen.
okay with that.
I love
Yeah,
it. It's
I
so
don't
good.
really want to taste my coffee at all. And I also always get a decaf. I'm the only
Oh.
person on campus who
Huh.
doesn't drink caffeine.
So you just like the taste of somewhat coffee?
Yes.
Got
Interesting. Wow.
Yes.
Becky, do you drink coffee?
Not really. I'll drink it like occasionally. When I couldn't get my Adderall, I drank a lot of coffee. But I would only buy the ones that are already like cooked, not cooked, but you know what I mean, like in the packet. I guess it's not cooked. Already
Pre-cooked
made.
coffee.
Like when you can buy, instead of going up to the window, like the thing at Holy Grounds, like I
Yeah,
would
it's like
only
the
get the
bottles.
ones in the
Mhm.
bottles. Yeah, I would get the
Oh,
La
okay.
Colombe ones, and they were good.
Yeah.
But I'd never, I don't know, I was intimidated by Holy Grounds because I never drink coffee, so I didn't know what to get.
It's a little intimidating,
Yeah.
especially since, the one in Con got to order at the desk, then you have to order
Yeah.
again. Just doesn't make sense. The
And there's a
whole
long
system is
line.
They do that
flawed.
with most of the
Stressful.
Holy Grounds.
What?
They do that with most. They do it in the Commons one too.
I've genuinely only gone to that.
I've
Holy
never been to the
Grounds.
Commons one.
Yeah, I've only gone to the one in Con. I've never visited a different location.
here's
Oh,
what-
besides Bartley. Bartley, I
Here's
have
what
done.
I found out. Here's what I found out. The strawberry flavor in the Commons is unlike any other Holy Grounds on campus.
What do
they
you get
actually-
There's a
Strawberry fl-
strawberry
Yeah,
flavor.
what do you get
Coffee?
strawberry flavoring in?
matcha
Oh,
Huh.
and sometimes black tea. You could do that as well. I think
Yeah.
that's a good
Those are good
combination.
ideas. I
But
didn't know
I
that that
got-
was a coffee flavor.
I got convinced by the lady behind the counter. I forget what I was gonna order. I think it was an iced chai, and she's like, "Oh, we don't have that, but you should try this."
Different things.
Yeah.
and you're just like, yep.
But it's
Go
a
for it.
puree instead of a syrup.
So does it make
Which
it
means
thick?
what?
That doesn't.
No clue.
You don't
I have no
know.
clue what that means. But I
Did
was like, you
drink it?
you got me. It was good. Yeah.
Okay. That's weird.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be trying that, Mike. I'm going to
All
be
right,
straight
well,
up with you.
moral of the story: don't go to Commons if you want iced chai.
Wait, but you said you only like your coffee like without anything in it. So is it just like you just had like black coffee with like strawberry puree in it?
No,
Okay.
tea. Like matcha, black tea. I don't know about green tea.
Does
Okay.
matcha count as coffee?
I don't.
No, it's a tea.
No.
I
It's
don't
crushed up tea.
Okay.
Chai is coffee either.
No.
Yeah, they're both teas.
I have no idea.
Yeah, if I go to Holy Grounds, I either get a black coffee or a really sugary tea drink.
Do you like how black coffee tastes, or is it just kind of like
No, like
Something
I
you
need
stomach.
the bitterness.
Okay.
It gets me in like the vibe. You know.
okay?
I don't know how to explain it. Like it's how you know you're drinking coffee. For
Mm,
me,
I'm good with my chocolate syrup at mine, but to each their own.
True. All right. Well, Becky, why don't you take us through our Twitter poll question of the day here?
All right. Our Twitter poll question today is: It's fall season. What are you looking forward to this fall? And the first option is s'mores and bonfires, then pumpkin spice season, playing All Too Well 10-minute version, Taylor's version from the vault, which I could not put all of that on Twitter because there was a 25 character limit. So it does just say playing All Too Well, but just know it's implied. Or sweater weather.
I'm going to be surprised if any of us pick pumpkin spice season after that last
We
discussion.
eviscerated it.
Yeah, but Talene, why don't you kick it off here?
I will say sweater weather because I like wearing sweatshirts. It's just an enjoyable thing to me.
Completely agree. That's what I
Mhm.
was going with.
Mm-hmm.
Cold weather, best weather.
Mm-hmm.
Could always get warmer by putting on more layers.
Exactly.
Becky, how about you?
I feel like they need a Halloween option. I like Halloween. Halloween's my favorite fall thing, but I feel like s'mores and bonfires go with the whole like Halloween
Mhm.
hayride energy. So I
Mhm.
like s'mores and bonfires probably.
I gotcha. I'd hate to hop on the bandwagon here, but I also have to go sweater weather. The drip just goes too hard in the fall and the winter.
So right.
That is what my wardrobe is suited for.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, it's all about the layers.
Amen. Got all my flannels ready for Flannel Friday in the fall.
Oh yeah.
Amen. That's all you need. Becky, why don't we go to you with our birthdays coming up this week?
All right. We have lots of birthdays. So today, happy birthday to Andrea Bocelli. He's like an opera singer, I think. Tom Felton, who's Draco Malfoy, and Joan Jett. Tomorrow on Saturday, happy birthday to Bruce Springsteen and
Julio Iglesias.
I don't know if it's Julio or Julio. I think it's Iglesias part. And
Got it.
Sunday, happy birthday to Ross Matthews from RuPaul's Drag Race and Steve Whitmire, the voice of Kermit the Frog.
Awesome. Thank you, Becky. Talene, what's going on with WXVU?
Well, I'm glad you asked. The first thing that's going on with WXVU is a reminder that shows are now back on WXVU for the fall academic semester here at Villanova. And each week on the Morning Roar, we'll highlight one of our show offerings. This week, our highlight, we're giving a shout out to Sports Fanatic, hosted by junior Aubrey Bowles, who is a part of WXVU's sports broadcast team. Sports Fanatics covers the world of college and professional sports. In the fall, Aubrey covers soccer, football, and with features on basketball and swimming. Aubrey himself is on the swim team here at Villanova. Tune into Sports Fanatic Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. right here on WXVU. And our second piece of news at WXVU is that we are debuting a new music feature immediately following the Morning Roar today, Swingin' Fridays. Selected by our music team, it's where the classics never fade. From the smooth crooning of Frank Sinatra to the velvet voice of Tony Bennett, we've got the perfect playlist. Join us every Friday all day for Swingin' Fridays, following the Morning Roar only here on WXVU.
Awesome. Thank you, Talene. You're listening to the Morning Roar right here on WXVU. We're going to be taking a quick break, so stay tuned for more after this.
Hi, everybody. My name is David Shapansky, and I'm the WXVU Sports Director. You're listening to WXVU 89.1 The Roar.
As part of our move-in day coverage, Villanova Associate Director for Leadership Programs, Stephen Koch, shared his passion for Special Olympics with us.
It is something that is so special to me because I know the impact Special Olympics Pennsylvania has on so many individuals. And then you bring that to Villanova, where you know there's just this natural mission alignment. It's what Special Olympics is all about. So you put those two together for a weekend in early November where we show that Villanova hospitality and where we have this great focus on inclusion. It's spectacular.
Listen to the full conversation and all of our move-in day interviews on WXVU's podcast feed, available wherever you listen to podcasts.
On Sunday, October 1st, Main Point Books in Wayne is hosting a storytime and blessing of the stuffed animals with author Lisa Papp. She'll be sharing her new picture book, Madeline Finn and the Blessing of the Animals. All are invited to bring your favorite stuffed animal friend to receive a blessing. This event is at 11 a.m. in the lower level kids section. More information is available at mainpointbooks.com. Main Point Books, 116 North Wayne Avenue in Wayne.
And we're back with the Morning Roar right here on WXVU 89.1 FM. We're taking it to Mike with the weather for the main line.
All right. Well, this coming weekend is one for staying inside. We are starting today with mostly cloudy skies and a high of 72. Expect a moderate breeze throughout the day. Cloudy skies will continue until the night with periods of rain after midnight. There is a high chance for heavy rainfall accompanied by a low of 50 and a fresh breeze. We are starting fall with a rainy day tomorrow, a high of 60, and with a breeze that will make it feel even colder. Potential for heavy rain continues to the night with a low of 57. Storm Ophelia will still move through the east coast this Sunday, with continued periods of rain in the morning and occasional rain showers Sunday night. High of 62 and low of 56. The current temperature outside our Doherty Hall studios on campus is 56 degrees.
Thank you, Mike. Talene, we're going to you with our Morning Roar news update.
Our first story today is Chamonix Road is closed beginning Tuesday between Lancaster Avenue and the St. David's Road due to gas pressure conversion work for PECO. This work will take approximately 2 weeks to complete. Work hours for the project will be from 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m., Monday through Friday. This closure will not affect school bus routes or emergency vehicle access. Radnor Township officials ask motorists to use caution when driving in the area and expect some traffic delays. And our second news story is a group of wild monkeys raided a supermarket and made off with, you guessed it, a haul of bananas in a bizarre hit and run theft in Thailand. Oh, I wish this was Lancaster. The Simonians left their normal foraging grounds in a nearby forest to hit up a 7-Eleven for whatever bananas they could lay their hairy hands on. Video shows the monkeys ransacking plastic crates, taking food, and then running away in rotation. When shop workers try to chase them away, the monkeys just sit on nearby wires out of reach. The local monkeys stand about 2 feet tall and weigh only 15 pounds, but are aggressive and travel in groups, and they have been known to steal food out of tourists' hands. Watch out.
Wow.
What a switch flip.
I love in the break how we were like, there's too much crime in our news update, and now it's actually
Monkey
the
crime.
monkeys are stealing everything. Awesome. Well, our second discussion topic today is about college radio. A reminder that this special edition of the Morning Roar is being featured as part of the annual World College Radio Day Marathon broadcast, bringing college radio broadcasters together across the globe. The theme this year is All Voices Are Welcome. In honor of the marathon, let's take a dive into a personal discussion of college radio. WXVU went on air in 1991 when the Federal Communications Commission granted an educational license to Villanova University. On August 24th, 2022, WXVU began full-time FM operations for the first time in its history. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, WXVU now broadcasts on the 89.1 FM frequency. Now, I got involved with college radio my freshman year when during COVID, not much was happening with the station. It doesn't look the way it does now. Some of the microphones wouldn't even work half the time, but still got involved and had the absolute best time playing classic rock music. Now, from the beginning, my freshman year, actually all of our freshman years till now, this station has taken a great leap forward. All of our technology has been upgraded. We're on the air 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, as we just said. And the station has really gone through rather a renaissance that most other college radio stations don't have, because most schools are trying to get rid of them and sell those FCC licenses. But we are grateful that Villanova and WXVU can still be in partnership and broadcasting on the air 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now, Mike, how did you get involved with college radio?
Well, I gotta say, it was mostly you, Chris.
Yeah.
I was following you, guest star on Route 30 Rock, doing all that through sophomore, junior year. But it was definitely a privilege to watch this renaissance with you. It was quite impressive, and your part in it as well.
Oh, thanks. Becky, how about you?
Honestly, probably kind of same. I feel like it was a little bit of a following Chris type deal. But also I don't remember the exact details, but I know like last March, February. That's when I started doing the social media for the station. But it wasn't like an official thing then. It was like someone had gone abroad and I just kind of like stepped in to fill in. And then I kind of went forward to apply to do that as like an actual position this year.
And here you are.
And here I am.
Yeah. Talene, I know you have an interesting story, or at least an interesting show.
Well, I did not follow you into college
correct.
radio.
Correct.
But I could feel the impact of you at college radio throughout all of my years. I didn't know it, but it was there. But my my story was that it was last fall. I just had the idea, or it was actually I had the idea in spring, but then I implemented it in the fall for a funny sports broadcasting show called Take a While Yes with Talene. It is currently on hiatus, kind of a One Direction hiatus. It's never coming back. I'm going to call it hiatus. But the premise of that show was I know absolutely nothing about college basketball. And where do I go to school? Villanova University. The thing that people know about Villanova University is their basketball team. And so I combined those two amazing facts and I did an entire semester's worth of a show learning about college basketball as Villanova's season went on. And I had some guest stars on teaching me about college basketball. I had some other people who didn't know that much about it like I did, and we learned together. It was a very fun time. We would begin each show by playing Fergie's national anthem, if everyone's familiar, and we would end by playing Get Your Head in the Game from High School Musical. So it was very serious broadcasting, and that is what elevated me to the position of being at the Morning Roar. So thank you for recognizing my talent.
Of course.
Yes.
That is
Anytime.
fantastic.
The Fergie national anthem is quite the throwback, but honestly, it's the best.
Exactly.
national
Very
anthem
fitting.
out
It
there.
just, I hear it and I think basketball.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
You're so right.
Great show. I wish it would come back from its quote unquote hiatus. but
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like it will.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Maybe if we make a deep March Madness run, it'll come back for a special episode.
Yeah.
Yes. Mhm. And then I'll go, okay, learning about March Madness. Yeah.
How did this work? So yeah, that is what college radio means to all of us. And now it is time for everybody's favorite segment, the Morning Roar Mind Bender. So updated standings. Everybody has 1 point. Impressive. Wouldn't have expected this. Last year was kind of a runaway. So this is a very exciting competition we've got here. Becky has 1 point, Mike has 1 point, Talene has 1 point, and Nick has 1 point. So a very tightly contested race so far. So here is the question. I'm going to put the question out there. First one to guess it, gets the point. Are we ready, everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it. What starts with an E, ends with an E, and contains a letter?
Envelope.
That was really fast.
we are getting these a little too quickly. Now, Mike, run us through. What was your thought process there?
I don't know. I didn't really have one. I just
You didn't think at all.
I just deduced from. I don't know.
Did you know it already?
No thoughts.
No,
Okay.
it was
I've
I
seen that exact riddle before, so I'm like, oh, they're all gonna know this. But no, yeah.
No, I knew it was going to be like some sort of wordplay. The moment
Yeah.
you said E and E, and I'm like, oh, what's a word that holds a letter?
Yep. Yeah, you guys all get these a lot quicker than we all did last year. That segment would, no joke, take about 10 to 15 minutes by itself.
Wow.
Is there like a difference in the sourcing
I
of the
thi- I
brain
think there might
teasers?
be.
I think we need
I
to
think-
go retro.
We need to hire a better Sphinx.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because we would be struggling, multiple hints. I'd be like, we got to go to the next segment, everybody. Like, this is taking way too long. But our next discussion topic of the day here, 3/4 of us wish we had an actual check engine light to indicate our health. According to a new survey, a poll of 2,000 Americans found many feel life would be easier if they had some kind of indicator for when their body needs attention. 3 in 5 said they struggle to recognize when their body is trying to tell them to mind their health. So what if a check engine light actually existed? Respondents to the one poll survey said they would mostly use it to notify when it's time to drink a glass of water, 57%, take vitamins, 50%, or take a nap, 45%. One expert says that while that light might not exist in reality, we can all take a break from our day to ask ourselves some critical questions about daily health and how to better our overall well-being. So, Becky, if you had a check engine light, what would it be for?
I don't know. You really hit me with a specific question there.
We're
Tell
really
us
getting
about
to
your
the heart
personal
of the
medical
issue.
history,
Yeah.
please.
I guess, I mean, I have ADHD, I take Adderall, and that's like a little bit of an appetite suppressant. So sometimes I don't get hungry. So
Oh, okay.
that would be a pretty good one to have a check engine light for.
There you go. I would say drinking water, personally. I don't drink nearly enough water as I should be drinking at all. Mike, how about you?
I don't have the drinking water problem,
No.
as evidenced by the 64-ounce water bottle on the table next to my mic.
I thought that was just black coffee.
Oh, I'd be wired. I don't know what my check engine light would be for. I would say
Bedtime, like
bedtime's a good one. I'd probably say bedtime.
See, my
Or like
thing
if I'm
is-
not being
oh, sorry.
productive,
Yeah.
like sometimes I'll waste a little too much time. So if I had a check engine light, it's like, all right, time to get in gear, Mike.
To get out of gear,
yeah.
to shift and go to sleep.
Correct. No, you're right.
I think mine would be for my teeth because it's kind of like hair in that I can't really feel them. So I would like to know if something's going wrong if I can't
Hmm.
feel
Oh, that's
something's
so
going
true.
wrong. You know what I mean?
Because the moment you feel something's going wrong,
Then
that's
it's like too,
that's
it's too
done.
far.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you already had toothache, your day is ruined, you're crabby. Like,
Mhm.
just not
Oh,
a good
yeah.
time.
I'm also someone who had braces for 7 years. Yeah.
Oh.
So this is an investment
That-
that I need to keep up.
On behalf of all of us, sorry for
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I only had mine for like 2 years, and I
Me
still
too.
like the worst experience. So
I learned to peel apples with my braces, which was
okay,
the
that's
coolest
kind of
thing.
impressive.
Right? I was
Yeah.
losing my teeth as I had braces, which meant I had them way too early. I don't know how that happened, but I would have like a lost tooth, so I would like, have a gap, and there would be like a wire, and I would peel the apple on the
That's
wire.
insane.
It was sick. It was like my party trick when I was in third grade.
Well, you had them that early.
Oh yeah, I had messed up teeth.
That's wild. Yeah, no. It's like 7th and 8th grade
Mm.
is when mine kicked in.
I had them at the same time as my dad, which was kind of funny.
Oh.
I
Yeah,
had mine at the same time as my mom.
Look
Yeah.
at that.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Gotta love adult braces.
Tough scene. All right, we're going to our break here. This is the Morning Roar on WXVU. Stay tuned for more after this.
I'm Maddie Giuliano, the host of The Color, and you're listening to V89.1 The Roar.
On October 3rd, join the Augustinian Friars, special lecturers, and friends and family of Father Bill Atkinson for a free full-day program. Overcoming Hardship with Faith, Hope, and Perseverance. Sponsored by Villanova's Father Robert Hagen, member of the class of 1987, as well as University President Father Peter Donahue. Father Bill serves as an inspiration to those who struggle with all kinds of disabilities, physical, emotional, relational, and their caregivers and family who support them. The day features remarks by the Most Reverend Nelson J. Perez, Archbishop of Philadelphia, a keynote on spirituality and disability, and a presentation on the cause for canonization, as well as a panel featuring Father Bill's caregivers. Registration is required to attend in person or via live stream. More information is available at augustinianfund.org.
Hi, I'm Dr. Brian McDonough. I had the pleasure to visit WXVU Studios, and I'm so proud of the work being done through WXVNU Health, a partnership between WXVU and the Fitzpatrick College of Nursing in collaboration with the Office of Health Promotion. I look forward to hearing more of the outstanding podcasts and public service announcements that are produced by the nursing students and WXVNU Health. This is Villanova University's V89.1 The Roar.
And we're back with the Morning Roar right here on WXBU 89.1 FM. And a reminder that this special edition of the Morning Roar is being featured as part of the annual World College Radio Day Marathon broadcast, bringing college radio broadcasters together across the globe. Villanova has recently established its Office of Sustainability. The university emphasizes service to and care for one's community as evidenced by the integration of sustainability. To talk about this, it's our great pleasure to have in studio with us Aldo Perini Camacho, the Assistant Director of the Office of Sustainability and 2021 graduate of the College of Engineering, and Simon Brooks, who is currently a PhD student in Sustainable Engineering. Well, thanks for spending some time with us today, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Of course. So Aldo and Simon, welcome to the show. And we must ask the big question, what is sustainability and sustainable engineering?
Should I do it or should you do it?
I'll say from the perspective of the curriculum in sustainable engineering, that is very much so the same message that we take to heart in our sustainability plan that, Aldo and the Office of Sustainability governs. We like to call it enough for all forever. So take away just about trees or just about the environment or carbon emissions, but really think about what we're doing today so that we can provide enough, like truly enough, which could be debated, but truly enough in all sorts of facets of life for all people. So very equitable and forever, for all time. So everything we do to be sustainable, self-sustaining, sustaining life, so everyone can really, really thrive forever. That's the heart of the principle. It's not just like trees or environment, but at least at Villanova.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that probably makes Villanova a little bit different from other places. That idea that someone's sharing that sustainability is a lot more than just the environment. Like one of our professors would say, environment is a very important step, is a necessary step, but is not everything, is not the only requirement that you need to achieve sustainability. Because at the end of the day, we live as a society and we have needs. And if we don't take care of our environment, those needs might be jeopardized, and our ability to meet those needs can be at risk. So that's the whole point of sustainability. At the end of the day, it's about people, it's for people. How do we make sure that currently we're able to meet those needs and that we don't put at risk the needs of future generations because of what we're doing today? So
that's awesome. And can you tell us more about how you are involved in sustainability at Villanova, particularly with the new Office of Sustainability as well?
Yeah, I can start that one. I am the new Assistant Director of Sustainability here at the university. Like you mentioned, it's a new office. Father John Abubakar was named recently by Father Peter in an email to the entire community, naming him as the Chief Sustainability Officer. So the office under him, I'm the assistant on that office. And previously, I was one of the graduate students that work in support of the sustainability plan. So Simon can speak a little bit more to that because he's currently one of those students.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am a PhD student in sustainable engineering, and my work as part of that PhD program supports Aldo, Father John, and the Office of Sustainability. So the plan that we have, the projects, the committees that are helping to make progress so that we can on campus, and then when all the graduates leave and have the greater impact in those circles and beyond, how we can achieve that ethos of sustainable living that's at the heart of our plan. I'm currently working with Aldo and Father John in support of that as a student, and then we have the official governance with the new office. It's very exciting.
And is sustainability and sustainable engineering a program that's offered here right now at Villanova?
Absolutely. Yeah. So Aldo graduated this spring with his master's in the program. I am, pursuing the PhD in the program. It's a graduate program for master's or PhD. And then we also have minors. There is no major in sustainable engineering. There's chemical, mechanical, traditional engineering majors. But our engineering strategic plan states all Villanova engineers will be sustainable engineers because it transcends one discipline. It's supposed to be, however anyone really lives should be sustainable, and whatever work you do or study you do should be sustainable. Like if you're not trying to make a future that your future children can live in, what are you doing? It's like everything we do should at some point connect into that mission.
I guess just to add to that, I don't think that it should just be thought about as this is something the engineers can do or engineers are supposed to do. Maybe the program lives in the engineering college, but the idea at the university is that everyone can contribute in any way, shape, or form to sustainability. So it's nothing to be thinking about, oh, this is a job for the engineer. This is something that only engineers can do. Everyone has something to offer, and everyone can contribute towards sustainability in their own lives, in their community, at the university. So even though it is a program that is located in the College of Engineering, in the program there are business students, there are fashion design students, there's a wide variety of backgrounds and diversity in the program. So it's not close to only if you did engineering in your undergraduate degree, but if whatever background you might have, you can be part of the program. You will be welcome to the program.
Mm-hmm. So for Simon, can you tell us what being a PhD student, especially in sustainable engineering, means and what it's like?
Well, it is a lot of work. I think being a PhD student in general, you're committing yourself to try to contribute new knowledge to something. So you are studying and also wanting to grow that knowledge space. And I feel very much so called in sustainability for that, because there's so much changing every day in this space. Just 2 years ago or 3 years ago when I started part-time, actually, what I was learning and what I am now assisting to teach as a TA for those same classes has evolved, just because the United Nations has put out updates to their reports, and everyone is, the world is changing so rapidly. So the PhD is really exciting because you are getting it it's in a space where you're contributing knowledge, you're trying to develop something, and the knowledge space itself is rapidly growing. So I find it very energizing. And, people tell me, oh, the PhD, it's like, that's a lot of time in your life, but it feels as though it's so active. It's not like I'm just learning another 4 years of content from a textbook. It's like, it's all new. It's all exciting. So, a lot of work. But then in sustainable engineering, the idea of engineering, I think it's just opened my mindset. Like, although you were also in this program, but, a foundational part of it is thinking of the world differently, like systems thinking and seeing how things are interconnected, how your actions can affect others in ways you might not have previously understood, how the act of planting a tree or the act of recycling is so much deeper than you might think, and really learning about all the interconnected parts of that to then design new ways of being, new concepts of living that maybe weren't even thought of 10 years ago as feasible in America. And now it's like, we need it. Otherwise we're down a path that's gonna not exist for our children. So it's really exciting. It's pretty motivating. And as a graduate, I don't know if you could speak to your experience too.
Yeah, I guess just what's exciting about sustainable engineering is that maybe you are experiencing this, that you go deeply into your subject of study, you go deep into your program. So to quote one of our professors, you want to be able to look at a problem with a microscope. You want to be able to look at those details and want to deeply understand what's going on. But you also want to be able to take a step back and look at the big picture with a telescope to understand and to make sure that what you're doing with those, getting into those details, is benefiting the bigger picture, so that you're not putting at risk the rest of the system because you're focusing too much into something, missing out what's going on in the outside. So I think that's the beauty of what the sustainable engineering program tries to teach you, is that you should be thinking from a systems perspective. So how does those little components that maybe we all learn and we all specialize within our majors and our undergraduate programs have a play and a role in the bigger system? So how do we use our specialization in making sure that the bigger picture is taken care of?
Yeah, that's amazing. And what steps are Villanova taking now towards sustainability?
Yes, so we have a sustainability plan from 2020 until 2030. Our goal or one of our big goals by 2030 is to reduce our emissions by 50%. We have taken some steps to achieve that. Simon can speak to a lot of those steps because he was involved in a lot of those conversations last year, and I don't want to take away from him sharing and being the one to share with everyone. So,
sure, thanks, Aldo. Yeah, it's exciting. So, all United Nations Sustainable Development Goals plus a custom goal are part of our plan. So, unlike other institutions and companies and places, we're not picking and choosing what we feel like is maybe just the top 5 things to focus on, or we're trying to do what it really means. And it's definitely in the spirit of St. Augustine, like we need to be thinking about all of this. We can't be claiming to be sustainable just with our climate action and not addressing poverty or anything like that. So we're doing it all. And one of the major interconnections of all goals is climate emissions, because if you reduce your emissions and you can contribute positively to the slowing of the global temperature, all of those other aspects are also benefited. Like we see high impact in all those other areas. And that's like United Nations Sustainable Development Goal 13, climate action, and 12, responsible production and consumption. Those are very strongly interconnected. So we have a power purchase agreement that was signed on, which if, for anyone unfamiliar, you can feel free to Google this afterwards if you're listening in your commute right now and you're like, power purchase agreement. But Villanova has signed on to an agreement where basically the electricity that we purchase from, the grid that we're getting, we've signed on where it's actually legally attributed to wind power. So 100% renewable source that we are then, legally and ethically, it's very much so an established process having. So all of our emissions associated with the electricity on campus is zero emission for Villanova. So that was a huge step. We had a 50% power purchase agreement in the past, and that was bumped up to, virtually 100%. And that is just incredible. So that was a huge milestone for us. And then some other things we're doing, you might notice more EV charging stations pop up on campus, and you'll notice that new buildings that are being built, new renovations that happen, might have slight adjustments to them on purpose to be more sustainable in those practices, which is always exciting and a long process. So when you see, I guess, the master planning take place over the next few years, and when you graduate, or if you're, you don't go to Villanova, but you drive by between now and 2030, you can expect to see, I don't know. The one thing like one of my old graduate friends told me was like, and they graduated in like the 80s. They were like, you could be sure of like only a few things in life. One of them is that Villanova will always have construction going on. That's a great point. But like, it is so cool to see, being able to be in those conversations a little bit, that the future of these construction projects like are very much so focused on sustainability and sustainability at large, how our space is going to be most efficiently shared for all of us to prosper better, more efficiently, to save our energy. It's pretty exciting. But the biggest accomplishment to date, I'd say that spread the word, is we have purchased our renewable energy, and it's not coal based electricity or anything like that. We're pretty much 100% renewable, in the sense of it. So yeah.
Now that doesn't mean don't turn off your lights.
Right.
Don't be mindful with electricity use, because if there's any excess, I'm sure someone else could also take advantage of that benefit and that production of the energy. But I guess that's something that's very heavily on the environmental side. But looking at all the SDGs, like Simon has mentioned, the first 5 are purely social: no poverty and hunger, quality of education, reduced inequalities. So all of these goals are part of Villanova's efforts and part of the ongoing conversation. So when you see things that are going on campus, that either come from the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, that come from Human Resources. Those are things that are done by those offices, but also affect our sustainability plan, also are in support of our sustainability plan. So maybe facilities sign this power purchase agreement, but that goes in contribution also to sustainability plan. So it's not to say that the office and the plan is taking over anyone's efforts, but it sort of gathers those efforts and shares them with the plan so we can take account of them and say, this is where the university overall is going, where maybe the office comes into finding where are the gaps, where are some things that we can work on, but the effort really comes from all the different people and all the different contributors across the university. So without those people doing their jobs well, there wouldn't be an Office of Sustainability, there wouldn't be a sustainability plan, there wouldn't really be a point in taking account of any of these things, because there just wouldn't be a way to get it done. So really, it's a work of all the people that are involved in these different projects and these different contributions that make all these things possible.
Thank you for explaining that. Our last question is, this interview is being featured as a part of World College Radio Day, and the theme of the initiative this year is that all voices are welcome. How does advocating for sustainability ensure that all voices are heard?
I think that that's one of the things that are built into the methodology of the plan. So when it comes to prioritizing what should the university work towards achieving for sustainability, one of the key steps is sending out a survey to the community and asking, what do you care more about? Do you care more about ending poverty? Do you care more about inequalities? Do you care more about climate action? And those responses from all across the community are taken, and the software does what it does, and the mathematics is done in the way it's done. And the idea is that we're able to equally take into account all those contributions from all across the university and say, okay, this is what the community cares the most about, and this is what we should focus our efforts on. And this is how we will measure our progress towards achieving the goals in the plan. So, for example, the most important goal or metric currently is the disposal of food and food insecurity. So we can talk about energy all we want, but truly what the committee cared about when we sent out the survey is what are we doing with the food that we have left over, and how do we make sure that those that need it are fed and have access to that food. So we can talk about energy, we can talk about electric vehicles, but at the end of the day, what the committee cares about and how we listen to the committee is through that survey and through that processing of the numbers and everyone's opinion to make sure that we're taking that into account. And also in our actions, the idea of sustainability is that we don't leave anyone behind, that we're all enough for all forever. And that is true at the university level. How do we make sure that we're considering all different opinions, all different groups, and that we don't leave anyone behind at the end of the day? So I think that it's very built into the methodology, very built into the plan, and very present in our minds and everything that we do day to day. And it's not only in the office, I think that's seen all across campus and all across the university.
Well, Simon, Aldo, thank you so much for coming in today. We really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you. And I will say, we just scratched the surface, really did. So if anyone out there is interested in, we are one of the main best practices, if you will, of sustainability is transparency. Like, people who claim sustainability and aren't transparent should be like a red flag for people who are looking into it. So for Villanova, we strive to be extremely transparent, and want to get the voices out here. We very much so thank you guys for having us on to allow us to reach greater audiences, in different ways. But please stop by the office for Aldo, email us or anything, and we are trying to be as transparent as possible. And then, there are many actions going on outside of what we mentioned, like with food waste. Al Motel, our waste and recycling manager, has so many amazing projects going on and a lot of student involvement in there. So if you're a student and you want to get involved, there are positions you can get paid to contribute. We really value your efforts. So there's a lot more we can say. But I just wanted to put that out there, knowing that, and our new sustainability manager, Allie McAllister, which is like incredible. She's a fantastic value add to our community. Like, if you see us or want to get to know, just schedule a time to get coffee. Like, we will happily give you a lot more information. We're not trying to hold anything back. Very transparent in the process, and encourage as much, interaction as possible.
Or if you would like to learn how what you do can be also part of sustainability, you feel free to reach out, because there's potential for every single thing that we do, every club, every activity, every class to be considered sustainability and under the sustainability plan. So it doesn't mean that you have to do something else or something in addition to what you already do, but how do we align what you already do and your interests with sustainability? And that's something that we all can do at the university. So if you have any interest, if you want to learn more, feel free to reach out. Our email is sustainability@villanova.edu. My office is in Core 109. If you stop by before full break, we'll be there. After that, we'll be in St. Rita's. But if you have any ideas, if you're even a faculty or staff member, also feel free to reach out. There are plenty of opportunities around and plenty of ways to get involved in any way manageable.
Yeah.
So
You heard it here. Please get involved with the new Office of Sustainability right here on Villanova's campus. You're listening to the Morning Roar right here on WXVU. We're going to be taking a quick break, so stay tuned for more after this.
Hey, I'm Avery Stout. I'm the Philadelphia Music Coordinator for WXVU, and you're listening to 89.1 The Roar.
Scott Adams here, your radio guide for the sounds of Brazil, with a month filled with the best musicians Rio de Janeiro has to offer. This week, it's keyboardist Marcos Ariel. Nico Gomez sambas into Connect Brazil's Listening Lounge, and our Brazil back-to-back catches a groove with the legendary Marcos Valle, always in our second hour. The Sounds of Brazil, Sundays at 8 p.m. on Villanova's V89.1 The Roar.
Are you experiencing anxiety and need a break to relax with a furry friend? Arf, arf. Well, lucky for you, Villanova's Office of Health Promotion has pet therapy almost every Wednesday from 12 to 1 p.m. Enjoy hanging out with our furry friends from the Pals for Life organization in the East Lounge of Dougherty Hall. They have dogs who love belly rubs and hugs, and a bunny too. We hope to see you there.
This PSA is brought to you by senior nursing students in the Fitzpatrick College of Nursing, the Office of Health Promotion, and WXVU Villanova Radio.
And we're back with the Morning Roar right here on WXVU 89.1 FM. Let's take it to Becky with our sports update.
Thank you, Chris. For Villanova football, it was a tough one for the Cats last weekend as they were defeated by UCF in their FBS matchup in Orlando, 48-14. The Wildcats scored early in the fourth quarter on a 2-yard touchdown run from quarterback Connor Watkins, his third rushing touchdown of the season. Running back TD Ayo Duraje added an 11-yard touchdown run with less than 5 minutes to play. In the annual Family Weekend matchup tomorrow, the 2-1 Cats look to rebound against Rhode Island as CAA conference play begins. The Rams of Rhode Island are also 2-1. The Wildcats have earned a 20-5 all-time advantage over the Rams, which includes a 13-2 edge at home at Villanova Stadium. WXVU will have complete coverage of the Family Weekend games starting at 1:30 p.m. with pregame coverage. Then at 2 o'clock, Patrick Scanlon, Aubrey Bowles, and Stephen Kane will have the call live from Villanova Stadium. Bring your umbrellas and ponchos. It's going to be very, very raining. Other Villanova sporting events this weekend. Field hockey travels to Quinnipiac today at 3 p.m. Women's volleyball is at Marquette at 8 and tomorrow at DePaul at 8. Men's soccer is at Providence tomorrow at 7. Women's tennis is all weekend long at West Point as part of the West Point Invite. And women's soccer plays Seton Hall Sunday at 4 o'clock. In terms of the NFL, the 49ers topped the G-Men last night, 30-12, to become the first NFL squad to get to 3-0. What games are you guys looking forward to this week? Any leftover thoughts from last week?
You know, not many leftover thoughts from last week, except, of course, what happened with the Browns. Yeah, very sad to see that. But should be a good week in sports. Big win by the 49ers last night. Exciting stuff. Yeah. I'm sure you're looking forward to the Eagles game, Becky.
I am looking forward to the Eagles game. I think two teams coming in 2-0 is exciting. I think that the Eagles, I don't know. I think they've got it. I think they've got it in the bag, personally, but I don't want to jinx anything. I feel like Jalen Hurts is kind of finding his footing a little bit. I know that the Bucs are real big on the blitzing, and I feel like Jalen has a decent, like the Eagles and Jalen have a decent, I don't forget what the statistic is, but they have a decent percentage against blitzing. So I feel like, I don't know, I'm optimistic.
There you go. Mike, how are your Patriots doing?
I was just about to say, I'm so excited. Guaranteed win this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Against the Jets?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's.
And our other Patriots fan friend will be going to the game. Not to get you too confused, because you're both great Patriots fans.
Yeah, of course.
Tali, anything with the NFL?
No comment.
No
I'm committed
comment.
to Villanova basketball
That's
only.
what I like to see. That's what I like to see. Mike, we'll go to you with our music news.
All right. So, get ready for this one. Travis Kelce's brother says he thinks the rumor about a romance between the Kansas City Chiefs tight end and Taylor Swift is quote unquote 100% true. Jason Kelce, who plays for the Eagles, said, "I don't really know a lot about what's happening in Travis's love life, but having said that, man, I think they're doing great and I think it's all 100% true." Then he laughed.
Which means it's 100% true.
It's totally 100%
I believe
true.
him.
Now, the Rolling Stones are almost done completing a follow-up to Hackney Diamonds, their new album, which hasn't even been released yet. Speaking on the Canadian podcast Q with Tom Power, Mick Jagger said, "This won't be the last album. We are 2/3 through the next one." Hackney Diamonds will be their first studio album of new material since 2005. Luke Combs' version of Fast Car has now spent 18 weeks at the number 2 spot on Billboard's Hot Country Songs chart, the most ever for a song that peaked at number 2. The song also currently sits at number 1 on the All Format Radio Songs survey for a 3rd week.
Awesome. Thank you, Mike. Talene, what's new at the theater this weekend?
Well, I'm glad to tell you, our first movie is Expendables, but it's not Expendables as you know the word. It's Expendables, but then replace the A with a number 4 because it's the 4th Expendables. Glad we could explain that.
Yep.
It's rated R, an action adventure, and the summary is that it's an armed with every weapon they can get their hands on. The elite mercenaries, Jason Statham, Dolph Lundgren, Randy Couture, and Sylvester Stallone, are joined by Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, Megan Fox, Tony Jaa, Iko Uwais, Jacob Scipio, Levi Tran, and Andy Garcia. So I'm not reading more names. There are so many people on this roster. I think it's an incredibly stacked third sequel to the original Expendables. And as someone who watched a lot of the Expendables when I was younger, at a way too young of an age, I'm very excited for this movie. I think that the first one was already like in the territory of this doesn't feel wacky enough. This is like too wacky for what an original movie should be. So I feel like by the time they've made 4 of them, these people are like all signed up for AARP, and I don't know how they're doing their own stunts. I hope they're not. And I'm just excited to see them like jog around. Our next movie up it's called It Lives Inside, PG-13 horror/thriller. An Indian American teenager struggling with her cultural identity has a falling out with her best friend, and unwittingly releases a demonic entity that grows stronger by feeding on her loneliness. Neeru Bajwa, Megan Suri, and Mohana Krishnan. The tomato meter rating for this is 76. This one seems interesting. This one actually seems like a pretty original horror movie. I'm excited for that.
I've just never heard of it.
I've never heard of it
Where's
either.
it coming from?
I know, I've seen
You
it
know,
in
it just
those
comes out of
trailers.
nowhere. But
Well, maybe
it looks
it's
good.
because it's like kind of like there's not a lot of cultural identity horror movies, so maybe it's kind
True.
of breaking
But
some
I feel like I
boundaries
haven't even
there.
seen like a
Yeah.
trailer or anything. You know what I mean?
That's
like, I feel like
true.
there's been
Not
no...
even heard of the name.
Yeah.
Like I think I heard about Expendables 4 coming out.
Oh yeah, I've seen the
Decently.
trailer.
Yeah. Like they've done pretty good job of
And-
advertising that one.
I gotta say, the trailer, you know within the first 5 seconds that it's Expendables 4.
That's so funny. What revealed that to you? The name?
No.
Oh.
It's just like,
The name
it's
appears on the
yeah.
screen.
Like the moment Sylvester Stallone and another celebrity pop on the screen, you're like, oh, this is a new Expendables.
Yes. And we're glad it's here.
Amen. So here's some fun events on campus coming up this weekend. It's family weekend with all kinds of events happening on Villanova's campus. Full details on the villanova.edu website. And here are some of the highlights, weather permitting, of course. Today from 4 to 6 p.m., there will be an open house at the WXVU studio in Daugherty Hall. Come shake hands. Yeah, I didn't write this. Celebrity host like Chris Kokinos, as always. Inclusion Week Festival from 5 to 8 p.m., which will be on the Rowan Campus Green. The class of 2025 Junior Ring Blessing from 6:30 to 8 p.m., location the Villanova Room in Connolly. And Family Food Truck Friday and Acapella Showcase from 8 to 11, location at the Oreo. Come to the Rowan Campus Green and enjoy a Food Truck Friday with dessert food trucks, fire pits, s'mores, and yard games. Villanova students from various acapella organizations will perform in the annual Family Weekend Acapella Showcase. On Saturday, the university welcome with University President Father Peter Donahue. This will be from 10 to 11 a.m. in the Villanova Room in the Connolly Center. And VU at the Zoo, an evening at the Philadelphia Zoo from 6 to 10 p.m. on Sunday with the class of 2024 senior breakfast from 9 to 10:30 a.m. with the location at the Rowan Campus Green. Becky, let's go to you with our Twitter poll results recap.
All right. So on the Twitter poll, 100% of our votes went to sweater weather. So I think we could have seen that coming. I feel like that was a pretty even consensus here as well, except for me, but for everyone else.
Well, there you go. And lastly, our deep thought of the week: change your thoughts and you change your world. Thanks for listening to this special Morning Roar, part of the World College Radio Day Marathon broadcast. And a reminder, WXVU will have live coverage of Villanova football's matchup, Rhode Island, for Family Weekend. Tune in starting at 1:30 p.m. tomorrow. And the debut of our new Swingin' Fridays music feature is up next. Thanks to our executive producer, Mandy Love Ledbetter, and we'll catch you bright and early next Friday at 8 a.m. Have a great start to your weekend, everybody. This has been The Morning Roar.
Villanova University's WXVU Villanova, serving the main line, including Montgomery, Delaware, and Chester counties at 89.1 on your FM dial. We're streaming online at our website, WXVU.